Hello and welcome to Prudent IAS, one-stop solution for all the competitive exams. In the previous lecture, we have covered all the key directive words which will help you in understanding the question, and then you will be able to structure your response as per the examiner's demand. Today, in this lecture, we will be taking up one topic from your main syllabus. We will do some discussion over the content related to that topic. I'll highlight all the key takeaways and then we'll frame a model question and a model answer. If you will join our group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS on Telegram, you will get this question a day prior. So how can it help you? By getting the question in advance, you can send us your answers. There in the group, you will be able to do peer-to-peer interaction, as well as we will be picking up one question for free evaluation. So let's begin with our topic. Today, we have selected the topic from General Studies Paper 2, Polity. Article 3 of the Indian Constitution. I know it's quite easy one, but it is a bit technical one because there are very minute details which you need to keep in mind. What does Article 3 say? Article 3 grants Parliament the power to reorganize the states through laws, that is legislation. In this line itself, what is the key takeaway? It grants Parliament the power. This means that this power is exclusively for the Parliament and not for the state legislature. Then it deals with the formation of new states, their alteration, as well as alteration in boundaries, as well as the names of the existing states. Now again, the key takeaway is existing states. Article 3 deals with internal readjustment, no outside of foreign territory. That part is covered under Article 2. Article 2. So Article 3 will grant power to the Parliament for formation of new states, alteration of the area, boundary, as well as the names of existing states. If we go word by word, what this power is all about. Parliament may by law. It can do what all things? First, form a new state. How? It can separate a territory from any state. It can merge any two states. It can even merge a part of state with a UT. It can unite two or more states, part of states by any UT or any part of the state. Next, it can increase the size of any existing state. It can diminish the area of that state. Diminish means it can decrease the area of that state. It can alter the boundaries. It can change the geographical boundaries of the state. It can alter the names of the state. This, I think, is very common these days. The names of states have been changing. So how can you remember these points? I know most of you must be aware. FIDAA. So this is spelled as FIDA. Such keywords will help you in recalling the topic in better ways. What is the recent example? If you will take the creation of Telangana in 2014, that power is from Article 3 only. What are the key provisions? What are the key things which you need to notice about Article 3? The Parliament can create new states. As already mentioned, the Parliament only can create new states, modify the existing states, that is, increase or decrease the area. Now, this applies to both states as well as the union territories. It is not exclusively for states, it covers the union territories as well. Now, let's check out the step-by-step process of Article 3. This again is very important for exam perspective, because a question can be framed out of this. We'll see the sample question on this. So the first step is the proposal of the bill. From where will the idea originate? If you will say that we need to change the name, will that happen? No. The legislative proposal must originate from government channels only, not from private individuals. Next, let's come to the process. Step 2. President must formally recommend the bill. This means that before the bill is introduced in the Parliament, the President's prior recommendation is mandatory, must recommend. He must recommend that. And before recommending, what the president needs to do? President needs state consultation. The affected states, the states which will be affected with this bill, we need to see that the bill must be given to those states for expressing their views within a specified time. Now here, stop and just check out the two important key takeaways. Within a specified time frame, this means that states will be getting a limited period to give their feedback. Typically, this window is 30 days, but it is not given. So, yeah, another point is for expressing their views. And these views are not binding. These views are just consultative, advisory in nature. We'll check the role of states in the further slides. Next, after state consultation, the formality of the state consultation has been done. The next step is both the houses will discuss, potentially amend, and then vote the bill. So what happens is, if the state is giving its feedback in the given time period, then well and good, but that is not binding on the parliament. If the state fails to give its feedback in the given time period, then too the parliament can proceed with the bill. It can also discuss, amend, and vote on the bill. Now, the voting is done through simple majority. Now, the last point is, the last is crucial step without which a law can not be made. After the passage, the president's approval will transform the bill into a law. President's assent will transform the bill into the law. So here you need to note down, Parliament retains the final authority. Who has the most powers in this case? Parliament and not the state legislatures. Although it will be affecting the states or the UTs, but the power is with the Parliament. Now let's check what are the key takeaways from this topic. So, while looking at Article 3, we'll have to look at Article 2 and Article 4 as well. Article 2 deals with the states which will be included in Indian territory, not the existing states. Article 3 deals with existing states. Also, Article 4 mentions that the laws that are made under Article 3 of the Indian Constitution, they will not be considered amendments under Article 368. What does this mean? This means that under Article 368, the laws need to be passed with special majority, but here the laws can be passed like an ordinary bill by simple majority. Next point is the power under Article 3. Yes, this is very important. The power under Article 3. You remember the D? The D standard for diminish, right? So this power to diminish or decrease the area does not cover the power to cede any Indian territory or part of Indian territory to a foreign territory. I think you got it right. I'll repeat it once for you. The power to diminish or decrease the area of the state doesn't mean that the parliament can cede a part of Indian territory to a foreign country. Next, role of states under Article 3. So in the present times, you must be aware, there are a lot of issues going between the center and the states. States are asking for their autonomy, various separatist movement. So from this particular Article 3, what present importance can be driven out? That is the role of states. Let's take a view. States hold only consultative, limited role in the reorganization process. Their role is advisory, not binding. They can express their views only. This means that they can give their views, their feedback, their opinion, but they do not have any veto power to stop that bill. They have limited time frame. This means that they need to provide, as already mentioned earlier, they need to provide their feedback within a given time frame, failing which also won't make much difference as the parliament will proceed with the law. They are subordinate to the parliament. This is quite evident right now because parliament can proceed regardless of states' objections or recommendations. The recommendations given by states might be included, might be omitted. Another very important point is states cannot initiate the bill. States cannot initiate the bill. It is the sole authority of Parliament. Now you must be thinking that states have very limited advisory role. What is the need of even consulting the states? Then, for your understanding, I have included this point. This is not written in the constitution, but just for your better understanding. What happens is when the states are consulted, they give their feedback. They circulate it through public opinion, and ultimately they will exert some political influence. What happens is, despite the legal limitations, despite the legal constitutional limitations, they can exert ample political pressure through public opinion. Now, another important point here is Article 3 differs from Article 368. I'm repeating the points again and again so that after watching the video, this topic is clear to you all. You can just write any answer about Article 3. So, Article 3 differs from Article 368. Under Article 368, special majority is required as well as states ratification is required. But under Article 3, there is no such provision. So under Article 3, the states are subordinate to the Parliament. Moving forward, now you have understood the content. This was all about Article 3. From this content, we will phrase this model question. What I want you all to do now is just pause the video, have a look at this question. I'll point out the directive words as well for you. Write down an answer. In the upcoming slide, we'll be taking up the model answer. So you can do self-evaluation as well. Also, you can write the answer and send it in our group on Telegram, Answer Writing by Prudent IAS. So let's move. Describing the procedure for establishing a new state inside the Indian Union, discuss the role of states in the process. So now look carefully. Take at least 10 seconds to understand the question. What all directive keywords are here? Mention those in the comment section. They are describing, right? Describe. And the other directive word is discuss. As mentioned earlier in the previous lecture, we have discussed both these. So what does discuss mean? If you remember, there was a bulb. You need to light up your mind. So discuss means covering up the topic, but in brief. And here describing, a bit of in-depth explanation. So here, in both these cases, no personal judgment is required. You just need to write about the content. Here in bit depth, and here all sides of the issue in brief. So this question has two dimensions. If the question is of 10 mark or 15 mark, you will have to equally divide the word limit. First dimension till here, you will describe the procedure, and in second, you will discuss. So what will be the approach? The approach for answering such questions. First, you will start with intro, right? In 10 marker question, if the question is for 10 marks, what is the required word limit for the introduction? It is around 20 to 25 words, because we'll distribute the word limit. You have limited word limit, right? In 15 marker, what is the required word limit? You can increase it a bit, 30 to 35 words, right? Next up, we'll come to the body of answer. Since this question has two dimensions, you need to give a major heading for first dimension. Write the points in bullets or alphanumeric digits. Write about the second dimension, give another heading, write the points. Okay. Next, we'll be coming up to the third and last part, that is conclusion. Now in conclusion, the same word limit as for introduction is followed. That is, in 10 marker, 20 to 25 word conclusion can be written. Conclusion just needs to summarize all your points. In 15 marker, 30 to 35 words. Now let's check the model answer. I hope you all have paused the video and written an answer. If not, at least pause and just think what all points can be written. See, we have read the content in depth. We have learnt about it in depth. Now you need to put that content in precise and keywords. We'll be doing that next. First, let's come to introduction. I have given you 1, 2, 3 options here. Let's check the first one. A basic simple one, giving insights about the topic. What is the topic is all about? Article 3. So brief insights, that is Article 3 empowers the Parliament to reorganize the states while involving the state legislature in the process. If it is a 10-marker question, you can just stop right here. This is enough. But if it is a 15-marker question, out of these 3, you can choose any 2. Okay? You can choose any 2. The next step is, this constitutional provision has been instrumental in India's post-independence territorial reorganization, allowing flexibility in the federal structure. So what this line is doing, apart from mentioning Article 3, it is highlighting its importance, right? Next up here is, the framers of the Indian Constitution deliberately designed the Article 3 to address the complex linguistic as well as cultural diversity of India that would often require the periodic adjustments, periodic boundary adjustment. So the first one is describing the article. The another 2 are highlighting its significance. You can choose any 2 in 15 marker. In 10 mark, write just 1. Now do not aim for rectification. You are not supposed to write this copy and paste. Just try to understand the process, understand the concept, write it in your own simple words. So I hope you are clear with the introduction part. Let's come with, and yes, of course, this heading is just for your reference. I'll present the sample answer at last. Next up, let's come to the body. This occupies the major chunk of your word limit. This is going to be the major part of your answer where you need to show your analysis, depth of analysis. So here, as I have already mentioned, there are 2 dimensions, right? So we'll take up the first dimension. How we'll be writing that? Using a heading. Okay. So for writing a heading, what you can do? First thing you need to keep in mind is, heading must be framed as per question demand, in the language of question, similar to the language of question maybe. Here the heading is procedure for establishing a new state under Article 3 of the Indian Constitution, right? The meaning is clear. The heading is self-explanatory. What does this mean? It means here is, if you are not reading this part, the heading itself is giving what is going to be in the points below. Another point, how to write this heading. Either you can use block word, block is capital, right? This, because you will be using same pen. So you can just use block letters, or you can just write using small case and picking a box or underlining it. All 3 methods are fine. So let's start with the body. Procedure for establishing a new state under Article 3 of the Indian Constitution. Now that whole procedure needs to be summed up and written in precise points. It's better to use alphanumeric digits. Now what are these alphanumeric digits? Alphanumeric means either 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C. See, often students use bullets, that is these pointers, right? So it's better to use these now. This will give a clear edge, clear clarity to the examiner while evaluating the answers. So the first point here is, the process begins. We'll start with the beginning, of course. The process begins with the introduction of bill in either house of the parliament on the prior recommendation of the president. You are not going to skip any detail while writing the answer. Do not just feel ki, okay, the word limit is breaching, I need to cut it down. No. Mention all the key details. Here, prior recommendation of the president. So the process will begin after the introduction of bill in either house of the parliament with prior president's recommendation. Next up, before recommending, as already mentioned, what does the president need to do? He must refer the bill to the affected states for their views, their opinion, within a specified time frame, usually 30 days. Then what happens? The bill must be passed in both the houses of parliament. Another important point. It must be passed in both the houses in parliament. And how will it be passed? By simple majority. And then what will it take to make the bill into a law? It must receive the assent from the president. So that's it. You have summed up all the points in a concise way with clarity under this heading. The first dimension is addressed. Now the second dimension, role of states in the process. Again, this heading needs to be self-explanatory. What are we going to do? Role of states is going to be written. The key points: states have advisory role, not veto power. So this will reflect India's quasi-federal structure. Now this part can be written, can be omitted, depends on your understanding. But this cannot be skipped, that they have advisory role and no veto power. Next up, the recommendation is not binding on the parliament. States cannot initiate. We have already discussed all these points in the previous slides. That's why I'm not focusing. I'm just telling you about the structure here. States have a limited time period within which they must give their feedback, advisory feedback. So both the dimensions are covered within the given word limit and with clarity. Now let's come up to the final section of the answer, that is the conclusion. Here again I have given you two options, A and B. If it is a 10-marker question, you can just choose either of these. If it is a 15-marker, you can club these, you can merge these, and depends on your understanding. This is just for the reference for your understanding. So how will you summarize the points? Now Article 3 maintains balance, because always the summary needs to be balanced. You cannot just take sides. You cannot just say, oh, states have no role, parliament has huge powers. No, you cannot. You will have to give a balanced conclusion. That is what you are expected. So Article 3 maintains balance between central authority and states' interest in India's federal system. This gives a clear outline that this topic is related to center and state. This provision has been proven essential for India's territorial evolution, which is true also, right? Preventing the fragmentation through separatist movement. There have been a lot of separatist movement. If this provision was not included, then there would have been some trouble. But now the creation of new states, merging and diminishing, we have prevented the fragmentation. This is enough in 10 marker. This summarizes your points well. But in 15 marker, you need to add one more line. The flexibility provided by Article 3 has allowed Indian Union to adapt to the changing political, linguistic and cultural demands over time. Now what is it doing? Strengthening national unity while accommodating regional aspirations. So try to understand, what is this doing? This is strengthening our national unity. That is why India is said as indestructible union of destructible states. You can even incorporate such lines in your answer. While accommodating regional aspirations. Okay, so this was all. Now I'll present the answer in one slide. So this is the model answer. This is how your answer is going to look. You're not writing heading as intro, body and conclusion. That was just for your understanding. This is in the given word limit. You have presented the answer. You will just use this answer, write it in handwritten format. Also, what else can be done is, you can underline the keywords like prior recommendation, okay, introduction of will now, before recommend, within a specified time frame, then must be passed in both the houses by simple majority, assent from president, advisory role, no veto power, not binding, cannot initiate, and limited time. These are all the keywords. What will this do? Underlining these keywords, when the examiner or as an evaluator, when I have evaluated the copies, if the keywords are visible and clear, I don't even need to read the whole answer. I'm getting, okay, the student has the knowledge about all the key terms and key topics related to Article 3. So I hope now you have a good understanding about Article 3, about a sample question and how that answer needs to be written, the structure, model answer. So this is it for today. In the upcoming lectures, we will be taking up more such topics from all the diverse directive keywords. You can join our group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS to get the question in advance. Also, you don't need to write down these slides. We will be sharing these content, these slides in the group. So keep watching Prudent IAS. The link of the Telegram group is in the description box below. Thanks for watching.